Start the Township of Hamilton meeting for Monday, April 15th, 2024. Please stand for the flag salute. Mr. Chief.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City and Star Ledger on January the 6th, 2024. Mr. Cheek?
Here.
Mr. Laws?
Here.
Mr. Batali?
Here.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Here.
Mayor Schenker?
Here. Moment of silence for private reflection, please. Thank you. We have a guest presentation, Hamilton's Sustainability Team, 2023 recap and plans, goals for into 2025. Okay. You can do whatever you want.
It's just going to be easier if I click through. So I'm going to try to go very fast. So thank you for giving us a chance to bring you all up to speed on what we've been working on, plans for this year, and some things we hope to lean in on a little harder in the future. So this is just a running list of what our main focus has been, the top bar, Sustainable Jersey, Bronze Recertification. So that's something that we've done every year and we will continue to do. Sustainable Jersey, I'll actually read you a quick little bullet on them. They're an overarching organization that they have a three-tiered point system, if you will, that you can achieve bronze, silver, or is it gold? Make sure it's gold, not platinum. And we as a municipality have been very successful at being able to achieve bronze certification. So just their little blurb here I'd like to read to you. Sustainable Jersey is a network and movement of municipalities, schools, and school districts working collectively to bring about a sustainable New Jersey. Acting with state agencies, nonprofit organizations, foundations, academia, and industry, Sustainable Jersey researches best practices for what communities could and should do to contribute to a sustainable future. The program culminates in a prestigious certification award to municipalities and schools that have documented meeting a set of rigorous standards. And so I'll underscore the word rigorous because to achieve the points needed to even get to bronze, they keep raising the bar higher and higher, and it is a tremendous amount of work. So while our group has aspirations of reaching silver, we know collectively that we need to do things a little differently, and have increased collaboration with the municipality to be able to get there because the point system is pretty steep. Very achievable, but as we get through the other information that I'll share with you today, you'll see where I see potential for where we can work harder and smarter and probably get ourselves to the silver level. So looking at their list of community events, I know you all see us out there in the community doing all these things in past years, and we continue to host our Green Fair. That's our biggest event of the year. We have multiple shred and recycle opportunities for the community. We are always at Dickens of a Holiday, Art in the Park, participate in the Halloween Parade, National Night Out, and do road cleanups. So there's many other things we'd like to do. We're a small group. We try not to spread ourselves too thin. But as you hear and see opportunities where we could have a face to the community, please bring that to our attention. If there's things out there that we could or should be participating in that we're not already, our goal is to add value to the community. So please let us know if you're aware of other places where we can have interaction with our township. Apologize, there's a little bit of a line through there, but something we've done a little bit more in the recent past is our creative team cultural events, and thank you to Sue Marks. She leads up that initiative for us. Last year we had two events, the Lenny Lenape demonstration and the 1880 train trestle accident memorial. We will be repeating those events again this year, and that is an extension of all the work that we do. Sustainability isn't just about, cleaning up trash. There's other elements to what we do. Always looking for ideas on that as well, to enhance the cultural capabilities of the municipality and the education component. So if you think of something or you hear something, we would certainly like to take that back and consider it. Now getting a little bit more into the collaboration and the education component on Township broad initiatives. So some things that happened in the last year that we've tried to lean in on and help educate the community are the balloon release ordinance, the illegal dumping and ATV ordinances that were passed, the community solar resolution, the more recent one of the contaminant containment resolution, corporate business tax resolutions, so on and so forth, the safe safe prescription drug disposal box that actually happens to be right out in the lobby, Trex plastic film recycling, and grant applications. And I'm going to actually talk a whole lot more about grant applications. I did neglect to include in some of the logos of who we partner with the Clean Communities logo. And so thank you to Luann, because obviously most of what we do and also with these organizations, everything dovetails together for a common goal to enhance and improve the municipalities, make our homes and neighborhoods great places to live that are clean and safe. So a lot of what we do, we are enabled through the Clean Communities work that Luann does as well. So it's all collaborative and it all ties together. The logo in the center is the Trex logo, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. So Trex is an organization, if anybody's ever heard of Trex decking, you know, it's all tied to the same company. This bench actually happens to be the one that's sitting right outside, so I'm going to use this time here as a chance to do a little shout out for some education and awareness. What we do as the sustainability team is, and again, I think that Audrey and Sue Marks, you guys get the props for this. We have 3 bins in the community for plastic film collection. And a lot of people, well, what's plastic film? Well, the easy answer is it's plastic bags. Well, there's not an abundance of those anymore since New Jersey passed the bag ban. So, but we have been able to, through these 3 bins, qualify very easily for the weight that needs to be submitted to qualify for these benches. The goal is not to get a bench. The goal is to keep the plastic out of the landfill, and why would you put anything in the ground or in a landfill that you could repurpose? And so some plastic film, just for everybody's awareness, this was the bag that my romaine lettuce came in. This is the shrink wrap that was around my 12-pack of paper towels. These are all examples of the type of plastic film that we collect. So we just want to encourage everybody, if you can not put those in the trash, we're happy to take those. So shrink wrap that around your 12-pack of paper towels is an easy one. Help me out, girls. Bread bags. Yeah, trash bags.
Any film that stretches a little bit is appropriate. Those ones that look more like cellophane that crinkle are not. So.
Yeah, shrink wrap, bubble wrap. It has to have a little bit of a stretch texture to it.
The bag in the vegetable bin at the store.
And it needs to be clean. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yep. And so what we do in collecting those, Trex has a program where if you meet a weight goal for your municipality, you get rewarded a bench. And so I think at this point we've earned, 7 benches, and they're sprinkled throughout the township. But again, the goal isn't to get the free bench. The goal is to keep plastic out of the landfill. This is one of our booths in the past year where we helped support the balloon ordinance when it was passed. This was us at the Halloween parade. This is actually the rain garden out in Mispa where you see yet another bench. So this is some of the work we did. Public Works did the heavy lifting with the stone and planting the bigger trees. But then we came in behind them and planted all the native plants. We partnered with Summer Sweet natives. And so it's an asset to the community, and it's a beautiful place to sit. This was National Night Out, where again, I think our educational component that night was, again, the balloon ban release ordinance. So looking at some of these pictures, this was from the Lenny Lenape demonstration that happened out at Lenape Park. This was the flyer that was put out for that. This, I think, was Art in the Park. We had a couple educational initiatives that night. You can see to the left of the picture is actually the one of the bins that we collect the plastic in. Those are at the library, the Presbyterian Church, and I think the third one's at Acme. Oh, there is one at Public Works too. Excellent. Okay. To the right, you see that we have a rain barrel there. We try to do rain barrel demonstrations and education when we can. And then a little hard to see in the picture, but hanging from the booth is another thing that we've done a lot of education on, and through partnership with Luann and Clean Communities, is the produce bags. And so these are kind of a premium giveaway that we do at our educational events, but they're super awesome. And the goal here is to just get these into the hands of as many people as possible, so that when you go to the farm market or even ShopRite or Acme, you're putting your produce in this and not the plastic that comes off the roll. And these are awesome, and throw them in the wash when you see that they're a little bit too dirty. And that, I think, was a green fair last year or maybe the year before. So jumping into 2024, again, the activities and objectives are very similar to what we've done in the past. First and foremost, the one that is got the greatest sense of urgency is May 4th is our green fair / we've renamed it Oak Fest, and that's at Oak Crest High School from 10 to 2. Prior to that, I think starting at 8 a.m. is going to be the road cleanup along Babcock Road. It's in dire need of it. It is a heavily traveled road, and our school kids that attend Hess see it every day. Any changes to that, Luann, that I'm not aware, we're all still good with that. So if you can help us by spreading the word, getting people out, many hands make for light work, and so we'd like to really put a dent in what's needed on Babcock Road from 8 to 10 on May 4th. Continued support of all the events that we already talked about. We will be doing the Lenny Lenape and the Train Memorial cultural events again this year. Thanks to Sue Marks, we do multiple road cleanups throughout the year. She spearheads that for us. And then we want to lean in and have a little bit more collaboration and engagement with you guys on things that we can do from a municipal level that will help us better achieve the points we need through Sustainable Jersey. And then lean in a little bit more too on some grant eligible projects, and I'll jump to that real quick. So this just happens to be two. There's a plethora through Sustainable Jersey and other avenues of grant money that's out there. And Brett, I know you're sort of our grant expert, in what's out there and what's available. And so just a real quick story. We had last year put a lot of time and effort into trying to secure a grant, and we didn't. But we got the feedback, and the one key piece that they told us that kept us from getting, and it was a $20,000 grant, so it was a big chunk of change. They said, we just didn't see where you had the municipal engagement. And we were like, oh, that would have been, that's right? So it seems like an easy low-hanging fruit. So that's where we want to lean in and collaborate with you a little bit better. Brett did an amazing presentation on the budget proposal, and I sat and took notes when I watched that, and I think I heard 10 examples of where I'm like, oh, that qualifies for a grant. Oh, that qualifies for a grant. When we talk about Leapy Field and we talk about the Cove and things happening right on Underhill fields, there are so many things that you guys are working on and leaning in that our team should be submitting to get grant support for those. And so that's where I want to get a little bit better at doing that. A little hard to see here, but I wanted to just give you some high-level examples. These were the Atlantic City Electric grant recipients for 2024. This is low-hanging fruit. Look at some of these things. Like, somebody got $5,000 because they're going to put up a sign for the Osprey. So, when I think about, we're not on that list, and we should be. So just wanted to show you it's not difficult. We just have to be collaborative with you guys in order to achieve it. So I think that's really all I had. I have a great team. We are small but mighty. We want to do more from a municipal level and lean in with you guys. And so just asking for your feedback on how can we do more for the community, do more for you. We are stewards of the municipality, and thank you for your support. I'll open it up to any questions if anybody wants to know more.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions? We'll move on to additions and deletions of late agenda items to be considered for action tonight. We have two additions. One will go under A8, business registration for paranormals. I can never say this. It's a little circus they have out at the mall. May 9th through the 12th, 2024 at Hamilton Mall parking lot. Also 9A, Personnel Resolution appointing Bonnie Cherry as temporary CFO beginning on May 4th, 2024. Appointment shall not exceed 1 year. Compensation will be $75 an hour.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move on to early public comment. Agenda items excluding items listed for public hearings. Brett?
We have no one signed up.
No one signed up, all right. So we move on to the exciting part of this evening, 2024 budget. Do we want to talk about it a little bit, or we just go right into, okay, here we go. We have a resolution authorizing the 2024 budget to be read by title only.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
I usually read that into the record.
Okay.
Whereas NJSA 40A:4-8 provides that the budget be read by title only at the time of the public hearing if a resolution is passed by not less than a majority of the full governing body, providing that at least 1 week prior to the date of the hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget as advertised has been posted in the municipal building, and copies have been made available by the clerk to persons requesting them. And whereas these two conditions have been met, now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Hamilton that the 2024 budget shall be read by title only.
Thank you, Rita. We now open a public hearing on the 2024 municipal budget. Anybody from the public like to speak?
Motion to close. Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing portion. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I will accept the motion to adopt the 2024 municipal budget.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Rita, could we do a roll call for this, please?
Yes, Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Patali?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and adopted.
All right, that was almost painless. Number 4, discussions, formal action may be taken, a stormwater ordinances. Brett, you want to give us a little background, or Ken?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. So we received communications from New Jersey DEP that in renewing the MS4 permit for stormwater regulation, that 2 of the ordinances needed to either be in the municipal code or needed to be updated, specifically in regards to privately owned salt storage. Hamilton Township did not have an ordinance as of today regarding that, and that's essentially storing salt on public property that would, or private property or public property that would come into contact with water sources that would essentially go into the groundwater. And the other one was the tree removal ordinance. Hamilton Township did have a tree removal ordinance that dated back to the 1970s. So I thank Mr. Knoll and Mr. Watkins on working with me on that to incorporate that old code or old ordinance into the updated model ordinance that went through effectively what the penalties and violations would be for removing trees and what the process would be for replacing trees to be able to protect the stormwater. So we have those before you for introduction tonight.
Okay. Anyone have any questions, concerns?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
The 4A, on my paperwork that I sent you, Brett, for the questions, I put 3A instead of 4A. So I'm sorry about that. I don't have any attachments.
For which number?
It's still 4A. Discuss the stormwater ordinance,
Further down on 6.
and that was the second question. There was no paperwork for 4A, but 6A, should they have been put together?
Yes. So we have, and I believe Mr. Knoll put in 4A, 1 and 2 are the ordinances that are being introduced under 6A and 6C. So 6A is a salt ordinance, and 6C is a tree removal.
Right, so if we vote on We can't really vote on, there's nothing here with 4A. So we'll just be doing the 6.
Yes, so we're discussing those
Just
two.
discussing.
Correct, and then the procedure would be for the introduction on 6A and 6C.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Since formal action may be taken later, we'll just move along here. Public hearing, adoption of ordinances. Ordinance 2071, 2024, an ordinance of the Township of Hamilton for impoundment of shopping carts and penalties for abandoned shopping carts. This is a public hearing. Would anybody from the public like to speak?
Move to close public.
Second. Motion and second to close public portion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Move ordinance 2071-2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move 2071, 2024. Any questions or concerns? Rita, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Chi?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and adopted.
Number 6, we move to introduction of ordinances. Public hearings on these ordinances will be held May 6, 2024. Ordinance 2072, 2024, an ordinance of Township of Hamilton regarding privately owned salt storage, which was just previously discussed. I don't know that we need any more information on that. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? Hearing none. We need a motion to move this, or just,
For introduction, yes.
so I need a motion to introduce.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. 6B, ordinance 2073, 2024, an ordinance adopting site-specific redevelopment plan for block 1134, lot 14, 4476 Black Horse Pike.
So moved. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or concerns?
Question.
Dr. Witherspoon?
On this, I guess this is the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not comfortable with not the name of the company being nowhere in the document. It's just the block and lot. And I said, I've never seen a contract where the company, anyone that comes after us should know exactly what this contract is for. And just to have a block and a lot and an address, to me, it's just not acceptable.
This is not the redevelopment agreement. This is the redevelopment plan. So it is not binding the governing body in a contract or any entity.
Mm-hmm.
It is the zoning that will be put in place for this block and house. So anyone that comes after this committee will be down, and the planning board will be down on the zoning. Rather than a redevelopment agreement, which is a contract between a redeveloper. This is zoning, not the redevelopment agreement. So that is why you don't see a redeveloper.
At the last meeting, I believe, we indicated that this was for cannabis, right? And it was Columbia Care.
But if Columbia Care of Canada does not enter into a redevelopment agreement with the township, they can move forward and utilize it. The rezoning is specific to the property, and the redevelopment agreement is specific to the entity that owns the redevelopment.
I understand, but when we, at the last meeting, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Malley. In the redevelopment ordinance, I believe that it would have to be amended. This building is attached to the carpet place.
That's correct. That's why we move forward with a site-specific redevelopment plan in order to allow these uses that are specific for this particular property to allow the principal use of a medical dispensary, medical marijuana dispensary, and a conditional use for recreational cannabis. In order for someone to be able to have a recreational cannabis business in this location, they have to also have a medical license and operate a medical dispensary. You don't have to have a recreational dispensary at this location. You must have a medical in order to also operate the recreational. So that's a conditional use. And there is no requirement for a standalone structure in this plan. We are not amending the entire cannabis ordinance for the township. We are adopting a specific plan for this.
So the redevelopment plan that we already have that says that we cannot have a structure that is connected.
That's strictly for the recreational adult use cannabis product.
It doesn't state that in the redevelopment agreement.
It states in the redevelopment plan for allowing cannabis use within the township of Hamilton. That addresses recreational adult cannabis recreational uses. In this particular plan, it addresses medical facilities, medical dispensaries, additional use of recreational. So it does address both in this plan and in the other ordinance, the redevelopment plan that allows cannabis, that specifically address adult use recreational cannabis.
Okay.
Clarify, you can certainly clarify, make it more clear for you and for any other reader. Or something that is either confusing or
So in all redevelopment plans, we only lose block and lots.
So in some redevelopment plans, you'll give something a specific name. If there is a project and everyone in town knows that is, for instance, Cotton Mill, you can refer to Cotton Mill. And I believe that is the Cotton Mill redevelopment plan that was adopted in 2005. Because rather than block and lot, everyone recognizes what that is. In the other implementation project, block and lot, the street address. So that when a particular project comes in, the tax office, they all refer to the blocks and lots when they look to issue tax certifications on the properties, assessments on the properties. And so we want to be very consistent and make sure that we are identifying the properties appropriately through block and lot and address.
Okay. And my last question is that I'm looking at this ordinance. Here's my notes. Should 8B, when we done the redevelopment, when we changed it, the structure on how it was supposed to go, the planning part was in the part of that agreement, right? For it to go to the planning board after it goes through everything it's supposed to go through.
So right now, I apologize, I don't know which step we're on in the flow chart.
That's my question. Where are we in the flow chart with this? Because at the end of the flow chart, before it goes any further, it has to go to the planning board.
Yes, so this evening you introduced the ordinance and then in the consent agenda, there was a resolution referring this plan to the planning board for them to complete their master plan. And that is scheduled for
It's just that I'm going to be done when I say this. I didn't understand with the flow chart that it had to go to the governing body to vote on it to go to the planning. That's not in the flow chart. The flow chart is after we go through all the steps, then it's sent to planning to review. So I didn't understand why we had to vote for it to go to planning.
This is part of the statutory process. That's just a requirement under the law. So
Okay.
it's conveyed by the governing body to the planning board. And we do that via resolution so that we have documentation of all of the actions that the governing body and the planning board took in the event that there's a challenge going on to the adoption of the ordinance and the implementation of the plan.
You was going to say something, Brett?
No, I was going to say that they have a medical use, so they're not 100% following the steps in the flow chart and the redevelopment plan. This is prior to local endorsement. So this is a unique situation where we have a business that wants to come in and do recreation and medical. So we have to change the zoning of that specific piece of property. That's not laid out in the recreational cannabis flow chart. That's why
Okay.
it's,
We have to change the zone.
well, we have to,
That is what this redevelopment plan will do, it changes the zoning, and so, in support of what Mr. Mull is saying, before we do a local endorsement for the cannabis operator, medical or recreational, at this particular location, this redevelopment plan has to be in place, allowing that to occur.
So this is for the change. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I didn't want to interrupt, but Mr. Cheek has recused himself.
Yeah.
The record needs to reflect that then.
Thank you.
Dr. Witherspoon, you good? Okay.
So we have an ordinance. Do we want to introduce?
Yeah, so moved. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Rita, I'm going to be marked down as an abstention. Abstaining.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's 3 yes, 1 abstention.
Yes. Thank you. We'll move on to C, ordinance 2074, 2024, an ordinance amending chapter 2.
Can I go get Rich?
Oh, yeah, we gotta
Oh,
get
I'm
Rich.
sorry. My bad.
Right at the door.
Did it again, Rich.
Spent Easter up and at the door.
Almost done the meeting. All right, let's try this again. Moving to 6C, ordinance 2074, 2024, an ordinance amending chapter 282 of the Code of Township of Hamilton regarding tree removal. I believe we just heard a pretty good description of what this ordinance is about. Are there any questions or concerns from Township Committee? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Number 7, awards of bids, contract, and change orders. Resolution to award bid 2024-01 to Trinity Code Inspections of Cape May, New Jersey for authorized on-site inspection, review agency for the electrical subcode services, and as-needed plumbing, building, and fire subcode not to exceed the amount of $125,000 for the period of June 1, 2024 to May 31st of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, Rita, can we do a roll call, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
B, resolution to award RFP 2024-02 to Extra Duty Solutions of Shelton, Connecticut for police off-duty detail management system in the amount of 8% administrative fee charged to the customers above Township invoiced amount for the term of 1 year.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second? Are there any questions, concerns?
I just have a question.
Go ahead.
Now, this 8% administrative fee is charged to the customers. Do we get that money?
No, we don't get that money. They collect 100% of that money, the 8%.
So what do we get?
So this is 8% on top of what we currently get for the police car and the officer. Right now, we get $107.91 for the police officer and the car. They would get 8% of that, which brings it to $116.54 charged to the customer or the utility. Usually, it's a utility contractor that uses off-duty police officers.
And I see there's no cost to the township.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay. We have a motion.
Motion.
We have a second, correct? Yes. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Consent agenda. We have items A through J.
Make a motion to move A through J. I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We have nothing under personnel.
Have
Approvals.
that late list item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rita, I'm so glad you came tonight. 9A, Personnel Resolution appointing Bonnie Cherry as temporary CFO beginning on May 4, 2024. Appointment shall not exceed 1 year. Compensation will be $75 per hour.
So moved.
At a maximum of 15 hours per week.
Yes. Is that what the did we put that on the resolution?
Yes.
Maximum 15
Maximum.
hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed the second.
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or concerns? All those in favor, you want to do a roll call for this?
Yeah.
Why not?
I do. Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
Oh, yes, and carried.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, are we supposed to do the business registration?
We did,
That was
Did
under
that-
the
yeah.
So we moved it up.
That was in 8, that was at 8A.
consent agenda.
Number 2 on the
Okay.
consent.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Number 10, approvals. Minutes, regular meeting minutes of April 1st, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions, concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And I am an abstention. He's not here.
Here.
Bill list total $1,823,250.16.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Are there any questions, concerns?
Question.
Go ahead.
The Easy Pass. I had questioned the miscellaneous expenses, and my question, it was OE, operation and sub expenses. But I just wanted to make sure it wasn't tickets. You know,
No, that's the normal fees that we paid for Easy Pass.
And my last question, the Verizon Wireless, it seems to be very consistent, but that's a high bill. Purchase order 24-00047 is on the last page. Because we paid for, other phone bills, other,
This bill's consistent with January, February, and this is March. So this is consistent with the past 2 months. I had finance take a look at it for me.
I know, I saw that. But I'm saying, is this on this bill list, there are other phone, long distance, there's other phone things. Is this for like
This is cell phones, and the computers and the police cars have to have their own card for.
All right, I'm good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Rita, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Laws?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes. Thank you. Number 11, reports. Mr. Administrator.
So we just hired a temporary CFO, and everyone's probably asking why we're hiring a temporary CFO. Cindy's leaving us. She's taking another job in another town. Just wanted to thank her for everything over the last year and a half, all her guidance, and I'll still be calling you. I just wanted to say thank you.
Very
That's all I
good.
have.
Anything else?
That's it.
Mr. Solicitor.
Good report, Mayor. Thank you.
Perfect. Mr. Engineer.
Nothing to report new. We are receiving bids April 25th for Underhill Park, so we'll be letting everybody know what those bids are at the next meeting.
How's Leapy?
Leapy's moving along. They are insulating and closing up all the ceilings right now, and then fixtures are going in. The steel staircase should be in by next week for the second floor. Second floor is totally enclosed. It's almost soundproof up there. It's a little scary how quiet it is. And then hopefully they should have all the finishings done by the end of the month. The only thing we're going to be waiting for is the canopies over the concession open areas. They're back ordered. The contractor is trying to come up with a different item, perhaps, to get here sooner, but we'd have to look at it and see if it compares to what we expect.
Okay.
Yep.
Was that something that, if everything else was done, we were still waiting for it, we could go ahead and open things up?
I think so. I mean, it's literally a 2.5 foot cover over it with some lights. Yeah, it could be operational. I believe the next thing is just to get the water turned on out there and get that well operating and inside and test the well too for that we don't need any softeners or pH neutralizers for it.
Gotcha. Very good.
Yep.
Thank you. Township Committee members, Thelma?
Yes, I have a report. I had the opportunity, I would like to thank the chief for giving me a tour of the police department and the dispatch department. That was very, very helpful. I had visited all of the departments, but I had not visited the police department. So thank you, chief, for giving me that tour. And on Friday the 19th, the Atlantic County League of Municipalities will be meeting at the Atlantic City Country Club, and the president of Stockton, the new president, will be the guest speaker, and I will be attending that meeting. And I also wanted to thank the chief, or whoever, I'm sure he's responsible, for putting on, there's been some burglaries in our township with cars, and they put out a nice notice, thank you for that, to tell people to keep your cars locked and keep stuff out of reach where people can see it, so you won't be as accessible to be burglarized. So that's pretty good. I haven't seen anyone get stopped on on the tickets. I don't know if he's stopped, if the police department has stopped anybody yet for that. You drive, you text, you pay. So I just make sure that I put that out there because it's very, very important. You know, so it saves lives. It saves lives from people being distracted. And last but not least, I see someone here from the school board, but I wanted to say that on April the 19th, it is the last day for people who get free and reduced lunch. Free lunch. There's going to be a summer EBT program for those $120 per child. And if you know anybody who has not filled out their school lunch form, they need to do that by the 19th in order to be eligible. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone. And that's my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Carl?
Green Fair, May 4th. Don't forget, come out, have a good time. The Cove, passes are available. Call Carol Wright, 625-2700 extension 592. Thank you. You can get a season pass for a little bit less if you get it before May 1st. So please come on out, and the Cove will be open June 22nd.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it will be open from Thursday through Monday, closed Tuesday, Wednesday, correct?
That is correct, sir.
So come down and enjoy the Cove. And that's really all I have. Reagan, talk to you later. Maddie, miss you, love you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Mr. Cheek?
I'd like to thank Cynthia for all she's done for the township in her CFO position and wish her success in the future. Thank you. And that's all I have.
Mr. Laws?
Yes, I'd like to also, thank you for your service. And at the same time, Mayor Schenker and myself met with the Coalition for Safe Communities. Really good group. They've positioned themselves throughout the county to do a big student, teen summit. They're taking 5 students from each school. So they're having a big event coming up next month. But we met with them, we heard them out. It sounds like some great things that they wanted to do. And they have some great ideas that I hope that we can help adopt with them. There's Perry Mays, who heads that up, and Reverend Dawson, who lives in our town and was just awarded, I think it was last week, the highest honor from the FBI for community services. And he's one of our residents, Reverend Dawson, so he's also part of that Coalition for Safe Communities. So it's exciting to meet with them and listen to some of the things that they were suggesting for our communities. So thank you.
Is that it? Perfect. I want to thank Bobby Laws for bringing me in on that. It was a excellent discussion. And as Bobby said, they're doing a lot of good things that I think that it would be a good thing to sort of jump on board with for the township. A lot of what they've done previously is through counties. Am I correct?
Correct.
And they're looking to get into basically having towns sort of adopt their plan. And like I said, there was a lot of great conversation, a lot of different avenues that we can go down, and I'm looking forward to, I think we got another meeting set in a month, so I'm looking forward to that. Cynthia, it was nice working with you, battling with you, whichever way you want to look at it, it's okay with me. Budgets are hard to do. There's always 2 different sides to what you're trying to accomplish, but at the end of the day, I think we got there for the 2 years that we got to do this together, and I really appreciate what you've done for the township and holding firm when we needed to, but also being open enough to try and get back to the old way the way we did things. So I thank you very much, and I wish you much success in the future. That's all I have. I'd like to open it up to the public. Anybody in the public like to speak? Mr. President.
Just real quick, I wanted to say 3 things. One is, thank you very much. I know it's very hard to deal with. My BA is mad at me, so I can imagine.
I thought he was going to say me.
So, very difficult. So I know they're hard to work with. So, but thank you. Good luck. The other thing is, we're looking for support from both sides of the aisle when it comes down to we're going to engage our state senators to try to get. Right now, the state flip-flops on whether or not we can use certain monies for temporary classrooms, specifically around pre-kindergarten. So right now they're on the mode where we can't use the pre-kindergarten money to use, lack of a better word, module expansions to the school. This time last year it was allowed. Right now it's not. So we're going to maybe look to see if we can get some pressure from our state representatives to maybe help favor on our side where we can do that. We had a plan with another school district that fell through. So we're looking to quickly accommodate 3 additional classrooms at our Davies. Is it Davies? Yeah, I think we're going to put them back in Davies again. Even though we just moved them out, but we have to continue to expand the program, especially when we have kids that are on the lottery system waiting to try to start school early. And then, so we're going to look for some support from you guys, and I'll talk more about that later on when we, in a more perfect form. And then the other one was we continuing to work with the school. I'm drawing a blank. The dilapidated one. Duberson, that was the thing. I had it all practiced before I came up here, I promise. Duberson. So we have to hire a specialized engineering firm that specializes in buildings in this state that are on the historical society. And they set us our expectations that once we engage them, they get an engineering plan that will say that we can tear it down or can't tear it down from an engineering perspective. Then it'll go to the state, and they said expectations is it'll take the state at least 2 years to determine whether or not we can roll forward with the project. And that's just from their experience with everybody else that's trying to do the same thing we are trying to do. So, realistically,
Moving forward with tearing it down?
or being able to do something other than restoring it to its glory. So it's our understanding that we have 2 options. That's restore it to what it looked like, which it can't be used for a school because the state law prohibits it from being a public school because it doesn't meet the minimum requirements from size, ADA, accessibility, number of bathrooms, all those kind of things. And so outside of the use of a school, as long as it looks the same on the outside, it could be used for that. But the problem is finding uses for that. And then the other thing is that we can either turn it back into a meadow, which was historically appropriate before the building was built, or it has to go to what it was when it was open. And anything beyond that, it will take us an engineering plan plus 2 years for the state to determine whether or not that it's appropriate before we can do anything else than that with it. So I do know that Mr. Rogers is working with Congressman Van Drew and his offices to find money to restore it to what it was, but like anything, that's going to take some time. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that those are kind of our 3 different timelines we're working on, is money from the government, money coming from somewhere else, somebody else interested, or proceeding down the lines of trying to tear it down to turn it into something more useful for us at this point. And that has a minimum 2 years on it. All right.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks.
Eileen Dix, I feel I have to say something about this tree ordinance. We don't get to see anything. We don't get to have input on intro. And I don't need to remind you of all the brutal details of Birch Street 2 years ago with 80 or so oak trees being cut down in an area that on the subdivision map recorded in the county clerk, the limit of disturbance was right on the back left corner of the house, and the new owners have clear-cut, filled in, planted grass. Every imaginable violation happened, and I don't know if there's a resolution because Pineland says it's up to the towns to enforce what the Pinelands edict is. And you know I'm talking about the Siemens property on Birch Street. Carl very well knows. The second one is something that is happening very recently, and it was brought to my attention asking me some questions just in the last 2 weeks. And when I went in my favorite website, the Atlantic County Clerk's recorded documents, that's where I found the subdivision for Diane Allen. That's where I found the Homeowners Association's declaration, not saying which property it was right now because I don't want to go there with it. But the point is, the declarations of covenants and restrictions are very clear as to how much can be cleared. Everything has to stay in a natural state. You can't even have a painted picnic table in your yard. So with this edict from the state that you're saying this is the reason, where are we blending the state requirement into the local requirements, whether it's the Pinelands requirement here or the HOAs here? And is that being considered in this ordinance? Because we're going to pay to advertise it, and if we have a conflict, we're going to have to pay to advertise again. That's my reason for bringing it up, and I'm going to sit back down. Thank you.
Thank you.
This, in terms of the tree removal ordinance, this was a draft that we took what was already in existence from the 70s in the Township of Hamilton and included as much as was allowable into the model ordinance that was given to us by the DEP. So we included as much as we could in terms of the application, but the penalties and violations are what came down from the New Jersey DEP on that ordinance.
Okay. Anyone else from the public?
Hi, Nicholas Signorello, 49 Gentle Park Drive. I approached the committee about a couple months ago inquiring about if the committee would be interested in adopting a township flag. It's been a couple months. I've had some life circumstances occur, but now I'm back with asking again if they would be interested in adopting a township flag.
Township.
I know there was a couple of emails that floated around, Brett, where I want to say it was left off.
Mr. Signorella sent over a couple concepts for a township flag. I don't know, so choosing the flag, he gave us 3 or 4 options. I don't know if that's something we want to bring to the full committee or if we want to set up a subcommittee to decide on this. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really is. It could be a flag that's hung behind the mayor and hung out on, the police department or out on Route 50. It's probably worth setting subcommittee up just to review his ideas and.
Can you go back and resend that email to committee?
Sure.
And then let's bounce back some stuff to Brett.
I actually brought with me some sample designs if you're interested in.
Yeah, you can give him the Brett.
Okay, yeah, over the past couple of months I've just been retweeting.
Okay.
I have attached the designs and just small thing with symbolism.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody who would be interested in being on this subcommittee, please just let me know. Yes, sir.
Good evening. I was advised to be here by the legal counsel.
Big Al, can you state your name?
My name's Al McQueen.
Step just a little closer to the microphone. Thank you.
Anyways, I spoke to Joseph Hoffman from Hoffman and DeMuzio Law Firm over an instance that has been going on for a good 2 years now. Our neighbors have dogs, dangerous dogs that have been out numerous times. Police have been called there numerous times to talk to them. Complaints have been filed. Had court hearings, filed complaints, Zoom court meetings. One time, doesn't show up, rescheduled. Second time, doesn't show up, rescheduled. Third time, doesn't show up, rescheduled. Fourth time, the person doesn't show up. I'm like, I don't have time to play these games. These dogs are dangerous. I said, somebody's going to get hurt, somebody's going to get attacked, or something is. And unfortunately, I was right. A neighbor dog was walking his dog down the street. Their dog was loose, came out and attacked it. Last month, March 15th, my wife was home, took our puppy out in our yard on a leash, and their dog was loose 3 houses down, 3 lots down from our house. Came over and attacked our dog. My wife picked up the puppy, the dog, the pit bull, still grabbed onto his leg. My wife's trying to pull this dog, what probably weighs more than her, off him. Took three of the people that own the dog to come over, pull the dog off, and the lady had the nerve to yell at my wife to leave our property. Something needs to be done. I've called animal control. I got the lawyer. The lawyer would like to see the dogs removed from these people because obviously they're not responsible enough to have pets, let alone dangerous pets. If I aren't responsible enough to have a bunny rabbit, but let alone dangerous dogs.
Right. I got you.
I mean, is there a different avenue I could go down? I mean, I know I've talked to the police. I know they're doing what they could do. I know I'm sure there's probably people just can't go grab their dogs. But what will it take? I don't want another animal to get attacked. I don't want a person to get attacked, a kid to get attacked. It shouldn't come to that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Chief, could you step to the microphone, please? You kind of knew I was going to do this, didn't you?
I understand their frustration. So the police have been involved in this, and we actually even have the prosecutor's office involved. It's in the court's hands right now, and it's really going to come down to a judge's decision on what they want to do. Like you said, I know this subject has missed court numerous times. So until the judge, I guess, puts out a warrant for this person's arrest because they're not listening to the subpoenas and everything to come to court, I don't know what else we can do. Like I said, we're in touch with the prosecutor's office. We've used them as a resource, and that's pretty much as far as we can go. If we do catch the dogs and they're actually off that property, we can seize those dogs now, and we'll keep those dogs because they've been allegedly, running at large so often. So that's really where we're at right now, unfortunately.
So they're not just running loose; they've been aggressive, to say the least.
They have been aggressive in some instances, yes. Yeah, apparently there's not to make light of it, I guess a good dog and a bad dog. One's much more friendlier than the other dog.
Right, but they still shouldn't be running loose.
I've seen from the reports.
Are these dogs registered?
I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure. I would imagine, but I can check on that.
Yeah, please do.
I will.
All right. So, is there any way we can visit the area a little more often?
We could do that, sir.
I'd appreciate that. It'd be really nice if we caught him in the act.
It would be.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we can look into this a little further. How many times have you been to court over this? 4?
There's probably about 7.
Yeah, I think she's going to speak next.
Oh, come on.
My name's Stephanie Perez. I'm a direct neighbor of Al McQueen. The dog's December 7th of 2022 charged at my 14-year-old son when he was taking our dogs out to relieve themselves. He caught him on camera. We told the police officers. We filed our applicable reports as we were instructed to. We were told nothing's really going to happen unless the dogs bite someone.
Right.
That took place on one of my other neighbors that will come up and speak shortly. I filed that case December 7th. I didn't see an inside of a courtroom where my case was heard till last Wednesday, 489 days later. I sat in court 5 times personally, countless Zoom meetings. He works, I'm unemployed, I stay at home, so I have the privilege to take this time. But our neighbors are neglectful. This is not a breed bashing situation. They are loose, they are dangerous. One may be nice, one might not be nice. Neighbors who don't know these dogs, we don't know the difference. We see a random dog coming on our property, we're thinking danger. And I can't tell, I've lived here for 18 years and loved it, but I've seen all the pedestrians that walk in front of my house. They don't walk down 6th Street anymore. They cut down 5th Street. People are sending their kids in my front yard, cutting through the lots. They're scared. We're scared. And I talked to Detective Montgomery with the Atlanta County Prosecutor's Office this past December, who told me the next time, not the next time after today, the very next time these dogs are caught loose on the property, off their property, we are to confiscate them and they will become the property of the prosecutor's office, and they will then be held as evidence until the trial date is set. Our court system is failing, by the way. This should not take that many days to be in there. We sit for hours waiting for a name to be called just to know that she didn't show up, and we're wasting time. My son is a key witness, missed 3 days of school for this. We're doing our part.
Okay.
We're trying to do our part, but this is broken, and the next time could be too late.
Yes, absolutely. They shouldn't be running free, period, whether they're friendly or not.
There's anything your voices can do to speed up and expedite
Okay.
Whatever Chief's talking about with the county, the court system, I implore you, we all implore you to do something because we're scared and no one wants to picnic, no one wants to walk outside. We're taking baseball bats, we're alerting each other when they're loose.
Right.
We shouldn't live like that in
Okay.
a small
I
neighborhood.
don't disagree.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Appreciate it. We'll have a conversation.
Yes, and I can reach out to the prosecutor's office to follow up on.
Please do.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Tina Matuzas. I live directly across the street from this house,
Mm-hmm.
and
Sorry.
we sit on our porch sometimes in the middle of the day when we're done work or whatever, and we see everything that's going across the street over there. I definitely like it when you said that maybe have more presence of the police officers go through the neighborhood, especially down 6th Street, because not only are the dogs running it out, they're also dealing drugs across the street as well.
Nice.
The traffic is unbelievable. It's crazy. Cars are constantly pulling up. My sister was at the house one day. I was at work, and she called me up with a picture. She sent me a picture. She says, this person has been outside for 6 hours, passed out in their car. Teenagers are walking by, knocking on the window. Are you okay in there? Are you okay in there? It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, please call the police.
We did. We called
Okay.
the police. The police went and knocked on their door, and then that person was told to go in the house. But the dogs have gotten loose plenty of times. And like I said, my mom and I, when we're not working, we're sitting out front of the porch. We have seen, oh my God, at least half a dozen times, the police officers drop the dog back off across the street. So they know where the dog lives and where the dog belongs because we've seen it with the dog being dropped off. And
Mhm.
they just away. So it's crazy. It's just
Okay.
crazy.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else from the public? Okay.
Motion to close public?
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We're going to now adjourn to executive session for a personnel matter.
No, we don't
No, we're
need
not.
it
Oh,
anymore.
we're not. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't you want to go home?
I do.
Okay.
I do want to go home.
Just checking.
As soon as somebody gives me a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it.